Good morning to Senator Bam Aquino, the Sinergia family. Again, good morning. And next, I would like to say my thanks. Salamat ha. Salamat for our partnership. Salamat for this 2026 Education Summit. And thank you very much for this opportunity that you gave Iloilo to engage, and to share with the rest of the country our experience in our partnership. And also, Senator Bam Aquino, salamat din sa mga past nating collaborations. Ano ko yung pinagsasabi ni Senator Bam kanina? Mahirap yan sa tinatawag na education management. So again, thank you very much, Sinergia family and EDCOM, kasi ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon dito, ang tinatawag nito the proof of concept, that happened because of the Sinergia family and our partnership in the EDCOM. Thank you for choosing our province as the pilot local government unit in developing or in our direction towards the eventual devolution of education to the local government units. Are we ready for devolution? Anong sagot natin? Handa na ba tayo? Are we ready for devolution? Yes or no? We ready? No, we are not ready. Hindi lang tayo ready. Hindi lang kayo ready dahil ginagawa nyo na. At least in part. At least the basic. May mga basics yan. Ginagawa na natin. And that is why nandito tayo lahat ngayon. For our first slide, again, can LGUs co-manage education? Again, can we go to the earlier slide? Our opening slide on the devolution of education to the LGUs. Kailangan natin mag-umpisa dun sa starting point na yun. Ang sinasabi ko na the very basic, sa devolution ng education ay ginagawa na natin. Because we have to start with the mindset. Dapat may mindset tayo. At sandali lang. Again, anong sinasabi natin? Anong sinasabi natin? That we treat education as a core responsibility and function, notwithstanding that it is not a devolved function. So we take full responsibility of education. Ngayon pa lang. And I think that we all share the mindset. That is why that we are here in the Education Summit to talk about and find solutions to the fundamental problems or the crisis that the education sector is facing right now. So yan ang pag-iisip natin. Yun ang attitude natin. We treat education as a core responsibility of our LGUs, notwithstanding that it is not a devolved function. Hindi ngayon, not under the local government code. Not under the local government. But that is the direction that the Education Committee or Education Commission is taking, because like other areas of governance, na ang ating LGUs, that we are unique. Every LGU is a unique community. And there are facets of education that we must adjust so that it can be relevant to our local government units. And the proof of concept is, ang atong pag-usapan ngayon ay ang proof of concept ng devolution ng education sa mga local government units. And the laboratory program that we chose addresses one of the most fundamental and serious problems. Ito ang problema natin sa reading proficiency. So we can go back to this figure. Ito ang hinarap natin na pinakaseryosong problema ng bansa natin. This is very fundamental. This is very fundamental. That 7 of 10 grade 3 learners cannot read or cannot read at the level of the grade 3 student. No? Alam naman natin yan lahat, di ba? Alam natin lahat yan. We have to start with this figure. No? At ang problema sa reading proficiency ay, no, una, kailangan tanggapin natin na may problema. We have to accept and face the fact that there is a problem. Number two is that reading, based at least on our experience, and I am sure na baka naranasan nyo rin yan. No? Reading, no? Teaching reading, that the classroom setting is not the perfect setting kung gusto ituro ang pagbasa. It's not the perfect setting kasi marami, di ba? 40 yan 40 ang estudyante. Iba-iba yan sila lahat. The levels, ang levels nila iba-iba. So, our classroom is not really the perfect setting if we teach reading. And third, because of that premise, we really need the whole community. We have to engage the whole community. At yung proof of concept natin, that the reading proficiency program, stands on those premises. No? It stands on those premises. And napakaseryoso ng problema. Kanyo, obviously, if 7 of 10 of our grade 3 learners cannot read as grade 3 students, then we can say they could not have proceeded. They could not have proceeded. And we cannot proceed that way. Hindi tayo pwede na dumiretso and we cannot move on kung ganun ang problema. Why? Because it compromises not only the education sector, not only the education of the country, not only the fact that, well, that is a crisis. Because it compromises the most important resource of the country. Human resource. Because our education sector should not only promote literacy, it must produce the human resource that the government and the country needs. Otherwise, the Philippines will not develop. So napaka-importante. Kung 7 sa 10 ng grade 3 ay hindi makapag-aral bilang grade 3, ibig sabihin, they did not proceed as we would have wanted them to proceed. So, ayun ang sinasabi ni Senator Bam Aquino kanina, ni Senator Gatchalian. We are really facing a crisis. Seryoso yan, ha? Napakaseryoso ng crisis na yan. It compromises national development. We cannot develop kung ganito ang problema natin at hindi natin mahahanapan ng solusyon. And proof of concept as a laboratory program, a laboratory project, chooses to provide a solution to this problem. And Synergia and partners have been doing well. And that is why Tita Nene and the Synergia family would like to share this with you. Ang ating proof of concept, no, together with, can we go back first to our platform? Can we have the platform of the education program of the province? I think it's 420. Now, this executive order, 420, no, is the platform of the education program of the province. And it is under this executive order that the proof of concept is being implemented. It is one very important component of this executive order. An order to institute the Bulig Eskwela sang Probinsya program a program for effective, relevant, and transformative educational system in the province of Iloilo. I'm sorry I have to belabor this because I want to explain to you the surrounding environment, surrounding the proof of concept. I have to put it in context. So, again, program for effective, relevant, and transformative educational system. It is effective because, again, we focus. We go straight to the practical areas of education. We take care, we support, or we give full support to the DepEd, to infrastructures and facilities. And the operations of our public schools using our special education fund. And we have to add to that, it is effective because we are trying to address a very fundamental problem. And that is our problem on reading proficiency. Again, we cannot proceed if we don't solve the problem. It is relevant because we have a program under this. Again, I have to explain this to you. When I was your congressman, we are the author. We are the author of Republic Act 11206, the Career Guidance and Counseling Act. That law is meant to implement a career guidance and counseling program that should develop the human resource of the country. Yan ang direksyon ng batas na yan. It wants to implement a career guidance counseling program that will implement relevant intervention at the secondary level during the time na nagdidesisyon yung mga bata kung anong career mo. In other words, we want to, through this program, we want this to develop in the program that will explain to our secondary students the direction of the country, the direction of the economy, in practical terms, that 8 years from now when you graduate, this is what the economy needs, this is the kind of human resource that we need, so that the educational system will produce the human resource that is needed by the country. Because we cannot afford to have that gap, di ba? Hindi pwede. As serious as the reading proficiency problem, if our educational system is not producing the right professionals and workers that the economy and the government needs, we cannot develop. No national develop. If we cannot bridge the gap between the educational system and the needs of the government and the economy. No way that we cannot develop. Like reading, very fundamental. So that's what the career guidance and counseling is all about. It is transformative because we are implementing an education program. We develop a module together with the University of the Philippines and the DepEd, so that we have a program that will prepare our students to be effective citizens, so that they will participate intelligently, meaningfully in our electoral processes, in our democracy, and when they vote, in the establishment of our democratic institutions. Importante na ang ating mga high school students na boboto na yan pagdating ng last grade levels, they will vote already. So, importante that we can provide guidance through a voter education program. Again, the proof of concept and our laboratory program, our reading proficiency program, is under this platform. But this has already changed. This has already changed. We have this. This is Executive Order number 20. This is not yet signed because we finished it yesterday. Maybe we'll sign this tomorrow or next week. But this is an evolution of Executive Order 4020. Best Province Program ang nickname ng ating education program. Best Province, bulig, eskwela sang probinsya, bulig in Ilong, that is help, tulong sa eskwela ng probinsya. But now it is an order to reinstitute the Bulig Eskwela sang Probinsya program, a program for an effective, relevant, and transformative educational system for more progress towards total youth development. Kasi hindi lang academics ang concern natin dito eh. It's not only reading, no, but total youth development, all facets, no, in the development of our children. So ang direksyon ngayon ng ating programa is TYD, towards total youth development, because we have other interventions. We have a career guidance program, we have a voter education program, and we have other non-formal interventions or programs that we implement in our public schools under Bulig Eskwela sang probinsya. So we have that. Towards total youth development na tayo. No? So this will change. Ito na ang magiging platform na. So balikan natin. No? The problem is very serious. No? Last 5 minutes na ako. I don't like that word. I mean, so ganito yan. No? Tama ba yung data na yun? Basta 7 of 10 or children are not ready. No, hindi makapagbasa yan as grade 3. So sinasabi natin, they cannot proceed. So together with Synergia, we are implementing a program. No? We devised a tool. No? Ang tawag natin, I think that ang pangalan ng aming module, I am ready to read. Yan. Ginawa natin yan eh. We devised a tool, an instruction module. We devised that together with our stakeholders, the DepEd, and we conducted trainings. No? We trained, we engaged our LGUs, our mayors are here right now. No, you know that. No? Our parents, no, we engaged them. The level of the barangay and the municipality. And see, we did it because we made our local chief executive, they have to be co-drivers with the DepEd to ensure that education is responsive to their needs. Sige, next slide tayo. So this is now, we are at the heart of the proof of concept laboratory program natin. No? We implemented it in 12 municipalities, Barotac Viejo, Batad, Cabatuan, Gimbal, Igbaras, Leganes, Lemery, Maasin, Mina, Pavia, Sara, and Iloilo City. We also have Iloilo City, who is also our partner, no, in this direction of devolution in proof of concept. Iloilo City is part of the proof of concept. Next slide. So what did we do? We create a pool of education champions. No? Again, we engage our mayors, the parents. We engage the whole community. As I said earlier, it takes the whole community to teach reading. And that is really true. Iba nga sa atin, one-on-one yan eh. Ako, nag-aral ako. Natuto ako magbasa, one-on-one yan eh. Nanay ko nagturo sa akin eh. One-on-one yun. I'm think sa karamihan ng bata natin ganun. That's why there we have a problem. The classroom setting is not enough. Yung 40 turuan mo magbasa isa-isa. I don't think that is a very effective way of teaching reading. Top down and bottom up. Yan. Again, we need the whole community engaged when we want to address the problem on reading proficiency, leverage data for urgency, and evidence of a success for motive. Talking about urgency. This is how we treat the problem. You know, the problem in reading proficiency, sabi ko nila, there's no way that we will develop if we cannot address that problem. For us, sa atin dito lahat, reading proficiency problem is a matter of national emergency together with classroom shortage. Right now, our future human resource is being compromised. It's a matter of national emergency. And we are doing that. Let me share with you how we treat the problem. Can we go to 111? No. I'm sorry I have to belabor this. No? I want to explain to you. Kasi alam mo, yan, we have this Executive Order 111, an order to institute the Provincial Community Defense Action for More Progress, Iloilo. More progress is our mantra. That's our development mantra. Our movement for a robust, progressive, globally competitive, and resilient province of Iloilo. Kapayapaan, kaayusan, at katatagan tungo sa kaunlaran ng bagong Pilipinas. We are aligned with bagong Pilipinas. 4K for more progress. Yan ang nickname niya kasi 4 yan eh. Kapayapaan, kaayusan, at katatagan tungo sa kaunlaran. So this is an approach, and we use this approach to address the reading problem. What is this? So, main premise, we are facing threats. As a whole nation, tayong lahat dito, we are facing threats, both internal and external. Threats like what? Natural and man-made disasters. Bagyo, lindol, sunog, pandemic, and mga lingering threats brought about by economic, social, and environmental conditions. Climate change. Climate change is a serious threat. Climate change. Rice shortage is a threat of that nature. And we recognize in this executive order that we need three things so we can address them. Peace, order, and resilience. Peace, order, and resilience are requisite conditions so that we can face the threats that we are facing, that we can address them, that we can fight them. So anong formula natin? When we want to fight those threats, ano ang frontline solution natin? National development. If we cannot develop, we cannot face them. If we don't have the capacity. So national development is our frontline solution to the threats that we are facing, including external threats. National development is the number one formula if we want to defend ourselves from threats, internal and external. And because of this, we have adopted a mode. We call it the urgent development mode. That's how we should work. That's how we should work. Urgent development. Emergency response mode. Ang ating execution ay mabilis tayo. We are collaborating. In other words, nagmamadali tayo. Nagmamadali tayo. That is why ang education problems natin, classroom shortage and the reading proficiency problem, we have identified them under this executive order as 4K for more progress problems. And we use the approach, the urgent development approach in addressing them. Like classroom shortage, nagmamadali tayo dyan. Nagmamadali tayo. So, in education, we have targeted classroom shortage and the reading problem as problems under Executive Order 111. Urgent development. Nagmamadali tayo. Bakit? It's a matter of national emergency. We cannot wait. Hindi tayo pwede maghintay. Ang human resource natin compromised na. How can we develop? Wala tayong tao. Wala tayong tao. Kung hindi natin ma-address yung problema sa pagbasa, aatras tayo. Umaatras na nga tayo. Last 2 minutes, I don't like that board. I'm about done. So umaatras tayo So that's why we're doing this. Education crisis should be treated as a matter of national emergency because it is a matter of national emergency. So let's go back to proof of concept. Shared vision and focus targets. 85%, which nangyari na yan. Nangyari na yan, and we're very happy to share. Syneria is very happy to share this with you. Participatory needs assessment and co-design of capacity development programs. But this is a developing program. So next slide, please. And the way to the devolution of basic education. Interactive training programs with principals, teachers, and parents. Yes, yan ang ginawa natin. We engage the LGUs, the whole community, not only. Broadening excellence through rollout of training programs led by the local chief executives. You see the role that we give to the local chief executives. That's why this is a proof of concept of devolution. Because nandito na tayo lahat. Nandito. Taking full responsibility of education together with the LGUs. Mobilizing community involvement through education summits, like what we are doing. Allocation of local resources, correct? By the way, Iloilo, we have budget of 500 million over SAF for classrooms for 2026. We are targeting development and reproduction of teachers, modules, and learners. Monitor, evaluate, celebrate, learn, and sustain, and clarify accountabilities. Yan. Maniningil tayo ng resulta. Yan. So, again, let me share to the result. Kasi, yan. Our efforts paid off. Congratulations to Synergia and family and our partnership and all our stakeholders and all our LGUs present here today because sa aming 12 LGUs in Iloilo, naka 9 of 10 tayo dyan sa mga pilot natin. And right now, we will expand. We will expand now. The experimental group, students in those 12 municipalities outperform students in the control groups. One half of the experimental students can answer 90% of the 50-item test correctly. The average score was 87%. So, thank you very much. Yan ang resulta.
Okay, maraming salamat po, Governor Defensor ng Province of Iloilo. May isa lang raw hong...
Salamat may open forum tayo.
May tanong lang raw po, special question lang si Senator Bam.
Hi, Gov. Una, thank you for sharing this with everybody. And we're hoping that you can also share this in the Senate. But I'm requesting lang po for a little more detail. Yung going from 30% literacy to 90%, did it mean, kunyari po, more hours from the teachers? Was more, parang, kasi right now si DepEd is espousing the aral program, which is an after hours program with tutors, di ba? Yun rin po ba yung ginawa po ninyo? Or did you work within the current resources of your division? And ano po? Yun lang po.
You have to go the extra mile.
Thank you, Sen.
In going the extra mile, you have to engage the community. You have to engage the community. You have to go out of the four corners of the classroom. Because again, we said, well, teacher reading is a community affair. Because the four corners of the classroom, just by itself, is not the perfect setting. You have to go out and engage, and you have to have a tool. That which the POC developed together with the DepEd and our teachers and our local government unit. Again, in recognition, ang sabi natin kanina, well, hindi pwede classroom lang. It may not be effective sa lahat ng estudyante. Iba-iba kasi yung mga estudyante natin. So, especially when we are catching up, kasi the improvements that we make should be institutionalized. And we are starting now to institutionalize them through this program. By the way, the POC is developing program. Again, this is a laboratory program. And it is meant to change. There is no way but improvement here. But we want to improve together with everybody. No? Kasi nga problema ng lahat ito eh. Kung national data ito, may malaki ang problema natin. So we have to have this.
Okay, maraming salamat po, Governor Defensor, sa inyo siyang matagumpay na pagsusulong ng proof of concept of devolution ng education sa provincial and municipal level sa Iloilo Province. At ngayon, alam naman natin ang kasalukuyan at ang susunod, di ba? Ang artificial